Ooni released their first ever indoor electric pizza oven about a year ago, and we finally got our hands on one to test out and hopefully answer all the questions you have about the Ooni Volt. I'm David, and this is my wife Melissa, and we have tested a ton of Ooni ovens and Ooni accessories over the years, and I'm incredibly relieved that today's oven test is an indoor test because it's been raining cats and dogs outside.
And it's not gonna stop for the next 2 days. This weather just begs for pizza to be cooked inside. We're gonna start right off the bat with a couple of disclaimers.
First, Ooni did send us this pizza oven free of charge to be able to test out and share our experience with you, our viewers.
Second, if you haven't already heard, the Volt is Ooni's most expensive pizza oven, coming in at $999.
Why would you need a $1,000 pizza oven? Well, indoors, there's not a whole lot of options that are really great priced or really high quality. So we're going to take a look and see if this is one that's worth your money. We fully acknowledge that $999 might be out of your price range. And so we'd like to point you to a couple of other options. And we're going to put those both down in the description and in the card up above. One is our 16-inch oven roundup, and another is our 12-inch oven roundup, giving you up to 15 other pizza oven options that could be perfect for you.
However, none of those could be used inside to cook pizzas on this very rainy day.
We don't want to waste your time with a boring unboxing montage. This is what the box looked like. And this is me pulling it out of the box and setting it on the counter. And this is me installing the stone. One-step installation, boom. Now real quick, I'll just walk you through some of the basic details of this oven. Hey, if you want to check out any of the links for any of the products you see in this video, just check out the links down in the description below.
Pricing is always changing, so make sure you click the links to see what the current pricing is. Specifically, right now, the price of the Volt is not $999.
So to see the current pricing, just check out the links in the description below.
All right, so we've been searching all of the internet to find out what people are asking about the Ooni Volt. And so we're going to take a few minutes to try to tackle some of those questions.
But stick around because we're actually going to start cooking some pizza here in the oven in just a few minutes.
Okay, question number one, how long is the power cord?
All right, measuring the power cord, if we start at the base of the unit all the way to the end of the plug, I have 45 inches is how long it is. So 45 inches is actual length measurement on the power cord on the Ooni Volt.
Okay, question number two, what are the wattage requirements for this electric pizza oven?
Well, so this oven is a 1600 watt oven, but that means that you can run it on a 15 amp breaker. I know that our kitchen is wired on 20 amp breakers, which supports up to 2400 watts. So 15 amp, 20 amp, you should be fine either way.
Question number three, what size pizza can I cook in an Ooni Volt?
Well, an Ooni Volt is a 12-inch pizza oven, so you can cook up to a 12-inch pizza. And let's go measure it and I'll prove it. Here we are over at the Volt, and let's go ahead and get our trusty tape measure. And right there, it says that we have a right around 13 1/4 inch opening. So a 12-inch pizza, totally doable. Could you do a 13-inch pizza? Well, if you have less than 1/8 of an inch of space on each side of your pizza, it's possible, but I'd say 12-inch is probably a good max. And for those who are asking about the depth, the stone is square, so you have the same measurement for the depth as you do for the width.
Okay, so question number four goes hand in hand with that, but what size pizza peel do I need to get for the Ooni Volt?
I just so happen to have one right here. This is a 12-inch pizza peel from Ooni that we like, and we love the slotted pizza peel because we use semolina flour on top as kind of our bench flour to be able to give it that easy slidability on top. So really like the slotted peel, and the 12-inch peel would be the one I'd ride with.
Question number five, if I want to cook other things besides the pizza, how tall is the opening? Can I put a pan in there? How much height can I fit in the Ooni Volt?
Let's go find out. All right, for your height, you can go ahead and see, I'm gonna take my tape measure and go from the top of the stone. And from the top of the stone, man, it's tight. I've got probably 3.5 inches max, I would say. I'd say 3 inches if you wanted to make sure that there's a little bit of room above your dish. But I'd say about 3 inches of vertical height is what you could put above the stone.
Okay, so question number six. I'm really hungry for pizza. I don't want to wait too long. How long do I have to wait to preheat my Volt?
I can't think of a better test. So let's break out our timer and let's go find out the answer. All right, we have the timer going, and just a disclaimer, because the time to preheat is going to vary depending on your target temperature. And right now we're going for maximum temperature on the Ooni Volt. So we'll check back in with where we are in the time frame.
All right, once the pizza oven comes up to temperature, we'll continue answering questions. But first, we have a question we want to ask you.
What night is your typical pizza night in your house? And then how do you guys roll? What is it that you like to do for your pizza night? Is there a certain type of pizza that they like? Are there toppings that are must-haves in your household? Let us know down in the comments below, but we'll go first.
We always have pizza on Fridays. We turn on a movie, Dad fires up the pizza oven, and I love his Neapolitan style pizza, just normal crust, and I like when he puts cheese and mushrooms on top.
I love putting cheese on my pizza, and I love watching movies on Friday while I eat my pizza.
All right, we just crossed the 10-minute mark of the test, and we are at 550 degrees on the preheat on the Ooni Volt. So at 10 minutes, 550 is where we were able to get to. All right, so our timer is showing us 1850 for our time to fully temp. And let's go ahead and check the temperature of the stone inside. And we are getting 720, 710, right in the center, over 700. Towards the front, a little bit hotter. But yeah, we're in the 700 to 750 range at full heat up and full temperature preheat.
Okay, so then the question that I think everybody is probably wondering is, how safe is it to have the Volt on my counter? Do I need to worry about how hot it gets underneath?
Well, I certainly hope it's safe, considering it's on our counter right now. So we're up to full temperature. Let's go ahead and get the thermometer out and see. All right, we have our infrared thermometer here, and I'm gonna go ahead and point this underneath the Volt and get my dot right in the middle. And it says right in the middle we're running about 130 degrees. Is what I'm getting underneath. So 130 is the temperature that I'm reading underneath. And is that safe for countertops? I think depending on your type of countertop, sure. All right, and here on the back wall, if I go ahead and get this on there, I'm reading 100 degrees. So 101 degrees right behind the oven. I've got 149 degrees on the side of the oven, 150. So 150 degrees, what's that feel like? I can definitely touch it. I wouldn't want to hold it and carry it, but that's not bad. See the top of the oven, I've also got 150 degrees. Same thing, side of the oven, about 143. So I'd say 150 degrees is a good range to be able to look for the top of the oven and what we're seeing on and all around.
All right, question number 9 is a question we saw quite often. Can I use store-bought dough?
You definitely can use store-bought dough in your Ooni Volt. It's just an oven. It's an oven with a pizza stone on the bottom. And you can definitely use store-bought dough, but the question is, what's that dough made with? Is it made with sugars? Is it made with oils? What are the things that are in that dough that might not be great at super high temperatures? So what I would say is you probably want to turn your oven down into that 550, 600 degree range if you're going to be using store-bought doughs and you don't know what's in them, so you don't get that burning that you're not going to want in your pizza crust. Another possible solution is that Ooni has a line of dough mixes. Now we have the Detroit on hand, which, spoiler alert, coming up here in this video, but we have the Detroit style here on hand, and we'll show you what that looks like here in just a minute. But there's Neapolitan, New York, Detroit, there's a bunch of different styles you can get in a box, just mixed with water, and you can use that, and it's a great dough to use.
Okay, question number 10. Are you ready for it?
I don't know.
Can I cook a frozen pizza in the Volt?
You can. I'm not sure why you'd want to buy a $1,000 pizza oven and then put a frozen pizza in it, but you certainly can. I would prefer you didn't, but that's just me being a pizza snob, I guess. So the answer is yes, you can cook a frozen pizza in the Ooni Volt, but
watch your temperature.
Yeah, definitely watch your temperature. I mean,
That thing will...
You definitely need to read the instructions on that pizza before you put it in the Volt at 750 or so degrees. So make sure you watch your temperature, but yes, you can. You absolutely can do that. In just a second, we're going to cook a couple different pizza types in the Ooni Volt to show you how it cooks. But if you're getting value in this video, make sure you click like and make sure you hit that subscribe button so you can get other videos just like this delivered straight to you.
The Ooni Volt has 3 different dials on the front that you can control the settings. This first one right here is a timer, so you can time to half-minute increments, and it'll keep track of how long your pizza is in the oven for. In the middle dial, we've got the temperature controls. Currently, we're set all the way to 850. As it's preheating, the current temperature will flash until it reaches the next increment. And then this last one is one we don't normally see in other pizza ovens. I think this is the first that we've seen this. The Ooni Volt has a burner on the bottom below the stone as well as the top. And you can adjust the balance of where the heat is being directed. If you have it all the way to the left, that is heating below the stone. It's directing all the heat to below the stone. If you direct it all the way to the right, it's directing all the heat to above the stone, the top of the oven. And if you have it kind of balanced in the middle, then it's equally directing the heat to both.
We have our Detroit style Ooni pizza mix, which actually looks something like this. Once you've done the mixing and you've done the resting and you've done the pushing it out, we have a lovely looking crust here. Some nice little bubbles going on, if you see that in the front. But this crust is ready to be par baked. Now, in the Ooni owner's manual, it says par bake for 5 to 6 minutes. On the crust, it says par bake for 3 to 5 minutes. So we're gonna probably par bake for 4 or 5 minutes to see what it looks like. Let's go ahead and take this, stick it in the Volt, and see how it does. Oh, by the way, the temperature is 600 degrees. That's what we have the Volt set to. All right, it says to rotate it throughout, so we're gonna go ahead and rotate this. It's looking pretty good though. All right, that gives us a total of 6 minutes of pre-baking. And look at that. That is looking good. All we need to do now is put some toppings on it, and we're gonna have a delicious Detroit-style pizza. One thing we're noticing by par baking this is it allows the crust to pull away from the pan a little bit, which means that we can get the cheese up against the side of the pan, which is one of the hallmarks of the Detroit-style pizza. So really liking this. All right, cheese and sauce are on the Detroit style, so it's time to go right back in the oven. Still, same temperature, 600 degrees, and we're gonna keep an eye on it. All right, let the cheese crisp up a little bit. Oh man, you can hear it sizzling on the edge. Look at that. It's time to pull this thing out of the pan, and we've got a Detroit style that we're gonna enjoy. There we go. Nice crispy edges. All right, so for a pizza test, we have our Neapolitan pizza ready to go. We're gonna go ahead and stick this in at the max temperature of 850 degrees and see how it does on the Ooni Volt. All right, we're gonna go ahead and rotate it here. Go ahead and get our pie and give it a little different perspective. There we go. We're getting some good browning on that side. Check that out. All right, we got our just about 2-minute pie on the Ooni Volt. Oh, check that out. Look at that crust. Look at the browning on that crust. We got our olive oil in the middle, giving us a little bit of liquid. Oh man, that's gonna be good. Let's see if you can hear the crust on this one. Ready? Here we go. Get close to the mic. Yeah. And here's what we look like underneath. Looks great. It's got some good rigidity to it. That is a nice looking pie.
Okay, question number 11. Will I miss the wood-fired taste?
Well, that's the long debated question in pizza ovens, is wood-fired versus gas. And I have to say, I have cooked on probably 15 to 20 different pizza ovens, and I cannot tell the difference between gas cooked and wood cooked because you're cooking at such high temperatures. Now, we're talking about an electric oven here. So it's not even gas or wood. This is an electric oven, and I've got to say, the pizzas taste just great, just like I would on a gas or a wood-fired oven. The only difference that I would miss is that on a wood-fired oven, you have that smell that you get as the oven's coming up to temperature, where you can smell the smoke and smell the wood. But once you get up to that 800, 900, 1,000 degrees, there is no smell that you get from wood, or no taste that you have imparted from wood. So I would say that I absolutely would not miss the wood-fired taste.
Yeah, same. All right, question number 12. Can I use the Volt outside if I want to?
Absolutely. I mean, it is a pizza oven, just like all the other pizza ovens that you would see. But the idea of using it inside versus outside is this one's not designed to be stored outside. You could definitely use it outside as long as you have an AC plug to be able to get power outside. But you could definitely use it outdoors. I just wouldn't store it outdoors.
All right, question number 13. This is a pizza oven, but are there other foods I can cook inside this oven to make it worth spending that much money?
We actually tested if you could cook some other things in this. The Ooni Grizzler plate is a cast iron pan that has a flat side and it has a raised ridge side to be able to put grill marks on meat. So we went ahead and tested that using chicken thighs for fajitas, and we got some nice grill marks on those chicken thighs running at only 500 or 550 degrees, and that way we didn't get a lot of smoke or a lot of exhaust out the front when you're cooking indoors. Now, we also cooked some fajita veggies of onions and peppers on that after we finished the chicken thighs as well. And those were caramelized in such a lovely way. Really loved that. And we even took the chicken thighs and presented them once we cut them like you would see at a Mexican restaurant, and got that nice sizzle on the Grizzler plate. So I love chicken fajitas when it comes to this pizza oven. I think it's a really great weeknight staple that you could do anytime. Now, burgers, on the other hand, is something that we also tried. And burgers, I've got to say, there's a smoke issue when you're going to be running burgers super hot and fast in this pizza oven, because we turned our pizza oven all the way up to 850 degrees. We took a couple of Smashburger patties, smashed them into the smooth side of the Ooni Grizzler plate, and all was well for the first 25 seconds. Then after about 30 seconds into it, we started seeing smoke billowing out of the front, and there was just smoke everywhere. Now, somehow, miraculously, we didn't set off our smoke detectors in the house, but that was our primary concern, as we thought, man, there's a lot of smoke coming out of this. So if you're gonna do something really fatty like burgers on this oven, and you're gonna run it at 850 degrees, just know there is a good amount of smoke that comes out the front. But if you're doing anything that's not super, super fatty that you can be able to grill, like chicken thighs or some of those leaner meats, absolutely, doing it inside on the Grizzler plate is not an issue at all.
All right, question number 14. The Ooni Volt comes with that top-bottom balance knob. How much does that play into my cook? How much does that affect the stone temperature or the temperature of the oven?
It's really hard to measure because you're talking about something that you can control in incremental steps. So we tried to figure out a way to actually put a thermometer on that and measure temperature variations on that. I couldn't figure out a good way to be able to do it. But one of the things that I have noticed is that here in the back of the manual, it has a pizza styles section on the manual. And the pizza styles section will say if you're doing, Detroit style, or if you're doing New York style or Neapolitan or bar style, whatever it might be. Over here, there's a recommended balance that tells you where they recommend from the factory that you put the balance between the top and the bottom. And I really have referred back to this multiple times in doing this review. That's been really, really helpful. So can I quantify where you should be able to have the balance? Not necessarily, but I will say that when I followed the balance guide in the manual, it hasn't let me down.
Okay, next question. Who would you say the Ooni Volt is geared towards? Who is it best for?
I think it comes down to a couple things. First of all, you need to have room for the Ooni Volt on your kitchen counter or on a cart. Now, Ooni sells some fantastic carts. They come in small, medium, and large. They have roller wheels on the bottom that you can be able to use to roll the pizza oven around if you have space for it in your kitchen. But it takes up a large form factor. So it's not exactly the same size as a, say, KitchenAid mixer. It's going to be larger than that, so you need the size for it. Now, the second thing I would say is you've got to have the budget for it. Coming in at $999 retail, sometimes we're seeing it on sale like it is right now, so you might be able to find it for a little bit less, but it is going to be a more expensive option than most of the propane pizza ovens that you can use outdoors from Ooni or any of the other competing brands. Now, I'd also say For those who are looking for a multi-function pizza oven where you have a lot better control over the temperature in the oven, that's what the Ooni Volt really excels in. If you think about you're looking to cook a pizza at say 400 degrees, 500 degrees, 550 degrees, you can dial that in absolutely and just nail it on this oven, as opposed to all the gas and the wood options where you're really kind of guessing, where you're saying, well, I hope if I kind of put the dial in the 3/4, I'll maybe get 650 degrees. With this, you just set it to 650 degrees and you know you've nailed it. So we're finding that bar pizzas and Detroit style pizzas and all of the other pizzas that you would normally make out there that's not running at 850 degrees to 1,000 degrees, it's a lot easier to make on the Ooni Volt. So I think that's really the sweet spot of where the Ooni Volt sits in the pizza oven market.
I guess another advantage of the Volt over all of the pizza ovens we have outside is that this one doesn't leave you slave to the elements. You know, when the weather is bad, you can still have your pizza party. It'll just be inside instead of outside. So if you live in an environment where your outdoor plans are often canceled because of the weather, the Ooni Volt might be a good solution for you.
Hopefully we've answered everything that you could ask or ever want to know about the Ooni Volt.
If we left anything out, just leave it in the comments below and we'll do our best to answer your questions there.
Thanks so much for checking out this video. Smash like if you got value, and we will see you on the next one.